My ex, 20F, says she's scared of me. How do I reassure her that she has nothing to worry about? Yeah. No. I'd move on. You can't trust her not to do it again. And it's not your problem or responsibility to fix her. She basically abandoned you, ghosted you, and gave you no explanation, even though you deserved one. If you're dead set on getting back together, make her go to therapy. If she doesn't, then you don't have a shiny future like you always imagine. It will be hanging over your heads the entire time. Also, your ability to trust her should have realistically been diminished considerably. Don't try build her trust again. I have had 2 forms of PTSD and I needed to be single so I could not only build trust within myself so that if something did happen again I'd remove myself from the situation, but also just to build healthy platonic friendships, especially with men. It wasn't until I learned to accept healthy platonic love from male friends that I could accept romantic love. If you just try build her trust, she's going to tunnel vision all her needs of feeling safe onto you. And it's just going to be extremely intense. Too much and toxic. She needs to work on herself while single, and she needs to get some kind of help. It's a problem she has and has to fix it on her own, I think. If she's telling the truth, the best you can do for her and you is move on and don't try to get back together. She's not ready to be back in a relationship after her ex and needs to work out those issues with a therapist. What you had going on wasn't what you thought was going on. If it had been, she wouldn't have ghosted you. There's nothing you can do differently to convince her to ignore the voice in her head that is rooted in her past trauma. That voice is derailing her life. And given what the voice in her head is telling her, keep your distance. Because that type of accusation will ruin your reputation. Whether it's true or not, don't let her past trauma derail your life too. Is getting back together what you want? If this sudden breakup and distancing was a result of genuine panic, and you are both willing to put work into a healthy relationship with good dialogue, then maybe this can work. But it's not something that you alone can fix. If you do want to give her another chance, be supportive. Be a good friend. Show her that you care and that you're reliable. Listen to her when she wants to talk and try to be honest about any of your own issues. Providing a safe environment and emotional support should help her to be comfortable and able to trust. But she also needs to be willing to explore why she has these fears and how she can change and grow. If she ghosted you for months with zero explanation, then the level of communication in your relationship is not high enough to last long-term. Communication is wildly important. Without it, more problems are created and pre-existing problems grow larger. Sounds manipulative. Move on. She is manipulating you and will cheat on you and is not to be trusted. She's playing the victim. With her history, she needs to be able to let go. While you could possibly talk her into staying, the unease from her past relationships would remain. She has to be able to make her own mistakes. In your case, you need to let her go as well. Wanting a break for months, having the emotional release of one meeting, then ghosting you immediately afterwards is not part of a healthy relationship. She was good for you in many ways. She's also terrible for you in important ways that you want to ignore but absolutely should not overlook. That's all presuming good faith. There's also a common refrain that a break is a breakup because whoever initiates the break likely wants to and will have sex with others during that time with the expectation that they can return without consequences. It is a pessimistic view and Reddit is prone to giving those. But it is a realistic possibility that needs to be taken into account. Regardless of her intentions and whether she did anything in the meantime, you need to let her handle her own demons. The way she has treated you is unhealthy. You can paper over the hole in the wall, but the hole is still going to be there. She may have done what she did due to trauma in her past that still does not excuse what happened. You can forgive her as a person without getting back together. Don't rush back into an unhealthy situation because you want the illusion of what you thought you had. You don't have control over the situation. You cannot fix her. That is her job, her duty, and doing it will be on her own time. The best way to assure her that you aren't going to be unhealthy for her is be an example of how to not tolerate unhealthy behavior from her in a relationship. Walk away and move on. Here's the thing. I, 29M, had an ex like this. I loved her very much, but there was a constant comparison about how she was treated badly before. And although I did everything I could to make her feel loved and safe, she just did not ever stop thinking I was one step away from betraying her. The point of this is that you could be the most perfect person. That doesn't exist, by the way. And someone with that kinda trauma will always look at you that way until they themselves get help. The best you can do is move on for now. It doesn't mean you don't care about her, but you also have to take care of yourself. Sounds like she needs therapy and maybe meds. I know 2 women who did exactly this to their boyfriends and they both ended up being diagnosed as bipolar. It's not your job to fix her, and trying to might just hurt you. A partner should be someone that enriches your life and adds to it, not someone who will drag you down. TBH, she shouldn't be dating anyone until she addresses those issues. If I were you, I'd tell them to seek professional help and would not entertain the idea of getting back into that relationship unless they made very clear progress. By accepting what she had to say and moving on, this could very well turn into a situation where she manipulates you and strings you along. Understand the trauma she's claiming and that she's clearly not ready for anything serious. This isn't a reliable way to get advice. I'm not saying the comments are wrong. I have no idea, and you probably already thought about this, but it seemed worth pointing out just in case it helps. She's scared I would cheat on and manipulate her. She had a bad history with her exes and said she always had trouble trusting men after that. What can I do? Completely assure that trust? You can't. The distrust is internal and has nothing to do with you. If you're willing to go down this road, and it's going to be a long road, then the only thing you can do is politely accept her choice and give her space until she comes to you. No attempt to work your way into her life again will ever fail to trigger red flags for her. Whatever she might say, this is trauma you're dealing with. PTSD. Facts don't apply, and trust is hard and 100% outside your control. If it were within your control, that would be a red flag in itself for her. It sucks, but honestly, just give her space until she misses you enough to overcome her anxiety. Even that may not be enough. If you choose this, choose it with your eyes open. It won't be easy. It will be work. Years of it, likely decades. Be prepared.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.